What is the latest when it comes to the COVID-19 mortality crisis in the UK? Well, let's have a look at the data that we've just had through. This line shows you the average number of deaths in each week of the year for the last 5 years, and this is across the whole of the UK. And let's have a look at 2020. You can see the pandemic striking there a very big number of what they call excess deaths. So anything above that line is what's called excess deaths. Then it came down, the number of excess deaths, but then it started to rise just in that latest week for which we have data. Now, that is primarily because of registrations. It's not necessarily an uptick in the severity of the disease or in deaths. It's because registrations just were lower that week than they should have been and higher that week because they were catching up. So be reassured that we're not necessarily seeing a rise in deaths there. But certainly that line there, the black line, is well above the average. And when you tot up all the number of people who have sadly died, both of this disease and other causes, it is getting to a terrifying level. So COVID-19 deaths since March, again for the whole of the UK, we're talking about around 45,000. Add on other excess deaths that haven't necessarily got an explanation above that line, and you're talking about an extra 14,000. And then the deaths that we've had in the period since May the 15th, because most of that data is from May, is around 3,000 to 7,000. That's according to the Institute and Faculty of Actuaries, and that would imply 64,000 excess deaths so far as a result of this pandemic. The number far higher than anyone would have liked to have seen, and much of that is because of where it's happened. So these show you excess deaths. The lines, anything above the line is an excess death here. At home, hospitals, and particularly care homes. You can see the epicentre of this crisis, just showing you how far those lines are above zero, is in care homes. Even now, you're seeing lots of excess deaths in care homes in these latest data. And part of the consequence of that is the UK does have one of the worst mortality crises in the world. In fact, now the UK, in population-adjusted terms, COVID-19 deaths per million has now overtaken Italy, and only Belgium and Spain have bigger outbreaks in terms of deaths per million of the population. You can see actually Sweden a little way down there, Ireland and the US there, but the UK, unfortunately, rising in that league table.